It's We'll See About That with World Series MVP Ron Cey.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to We'll See About That, and welcome back to the new year. I hope that everyone had a prosperous end of the year. Mike, how did you spend your New Year's?
I was at home pretty much. Got home relatively early. Had a nice time with some friends and family. Had my nieces and nephews in town. So I understand you had the grandkids running around these holidays.
I did. I was fortunate to have my daughter down from Mill Valley, just over the bridge in San Francisco, and they came down and spent some time with us. So it was great to have all of my grandkids together for that period of Christmas up to New Year's, and great time. I'm so happy that we have an opportunity to have our kids, and they're all 11, 10, 8, 7.
Great age.
One boy in the group. They really enjoy being around each other and playing and spending the time. So I'm really happy about that.
You know who didn't have a good New Year's is one John Harbaugh.
No, he did not. I felt so bad. I have always had great respect, for his work. He's to me a Hall of Fame football coach. I admire his program. I think that when you talk about the Baltimore Ravens, you know that you're going to have a team that is going to be competitive. They're going to come and they're going to try to knock the shoes off your feet, and they're going to be, a very physical-minded football team. And 18 years, 12 times in the playoffs.
Perennial playoff contenders.
Yeah, and this year got off to a really bad start. Injuries again, of course, playing part of that. To battle back and go all the way to the championship game. But loser goes home.
Oh, to lose on a last-second missed field goal.
Nothing was going. There was no action. It was all defense. Low-scoring game until the fourth quarter. And then in the last 5 minutes of the game, there's like 4 touchdowns and a missed extra point. And, of course, that opened the door because now you've got a minute left and Baltimore gets the football back and they run the ball to the 50-yard line. They get a first down on a fourth down play. They set up the field goal, and then the kicker misses the field goal.
I just feel so bad.
It lost his job.
I know.
Unbelievable.
All right, stick around, you guys. We'll be right back. Stay with us. We'll see about that. The Ron Cey Show. Stay with us.
They still call me the Penguin.
All right, we are back. You are listening to We'll See About That with the legend, the champion, the MVP, Mr. Ron Cey. I am Mike Airy. Thank you so much for joining us. Just to circle back to something we talked about in the first segment about the poor Baltimore Ravens. The poor Ravens kicker missing that last-second field goal, which would have won the game.
Yeah.
What do you think's worse? Missing a field goal like that in same or similar circumstances in the MLB, or being the closing pitcher that lets in the winning run in like a walk-off situation?
It's one and the same.
Yeah.
It depends on, when it is. For the kicker, this thing was magnified, to the hilt. It's the last game of the year. Winner moves forward. You get into the playoffs or you go home. And you don't know what the ramifications are of that past that. But when you look back on it, now you're saying, oh, my God, I missed the field goal, but my coach got fired. And if you have a relationship with your coach, and most guys do, you're going to feel bad. But, it's such a burden. This kid's going to have to live with this for the entire off season.
Yeah.
And I don't care how many times he goes out and practices in between time, kicking field goals. He's going to remember this one until the next one comes.
Yeah.
And it's going to and so is the memory of the fans. And, I feel bad for John Harbaugh. I really do, because I really think he's a great coach. And I wouldn't say that it's all on the kicker. It's a culmination of them not doing what they should have done all year long. And you can't just say It was the kicker's fault. There were a lot of things went wrong.
Yeah, but sadly, that's most people are going to remember.
Yeah,
is the missed
for sure.
kick.
Well, it's like Bill Buckner.
Yeah. Oh,
You
poor
know,
Bill
I mean,
Buckner.
it's like, why do you have to do that? You know, but people do, and I didn't do that for any other reason, because it's painful for me too, because that was a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
To remind you of things, but it's just a reminder of, doesn't really matter who it is, of how they look at things sometimes when these crazy moments happen in sports.
Yeah, no matter how much money you make over your career, no matter how, maybe, successful you are in other things, both on the field and off the field, that's something you remember for a lifetime.
And it hurts.
And I think people need to be a little bit more sympathetic about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, Ron.
It won't happen.
Yeah, no, not so much, especially not
No.
those Ravens fans.
No.
Let's talk about something we rarely talk about on this show, which is current events. And a couple last week, I'm sure people might remember, I was up late at night and I saw some feeds on Instagram and on X of some explosions going on in Caracas, Venezuela. And I'm like, oh, what's this? What's going on here? The next thing I know, I'm seeing a video from on the ground in Caracas, Venezuela, of United States Army Special Operations aircraft, helicopters, flying over Venezuela.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh my goodness, like a new war just dropped. And then when I woke up the next morning, then I see the complete picture where the United States military, the Joint Special Operations, launched a killer capture raid on one Nicolas Maduro, the president of Venezuela. And they brought him back to the United States and charged him with multiple counts of drug trafficking and other associated crimes.
A narco-terrorist.
Narco-terrorist. And then the next day after that, I see a press conference with our president of the United States saying that, hey, kudos to me. We're going to run Venezuela. The guys behind me, Pete Hegseth and Marco Rubio and Steve Witkoff, are going to run Venezuela. We're going to take their oil. What are your thoughts about this whole situation here, Ron?
Well, how about international law? How about where was the members of Congress on this?
Point.
I think we all understand that Maduro was a really, really bad person, and it's not so much about that.
Mm-hmm.
But there are rules of which we live by, and NATO has responded, and they don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
All of
our key allies, Britain, France, Germany.
Where? Well, I mean, look. I mean, who are we? Who are we? If I'm not mistaken, here not too long ago, the president pardoned Juan Hernandez, the president of Honduras,
Correct.
For being a narco-terrorist and
charged with
sent millions and millions and millions of dollars of cocaine into this country.
He was charged and convicted and sentenced for importing 400 tons of cocaine in the United States.
Yeah, and he was pardoned.
He was.
I'm not sure I understand any of this. I mean, I suppose when we started hearing about the boats being attacked and seized in the open waters off the coast of Venezuela, where no drugs were found.
Mm-hmm.
I guess this is kind of an understanding of what's going on here. It's about oil. My understanding is the oil that they have in Venezuela is not the same that you use for gas.
Yeah, it's a heavy oil. It's going to be very expensive and cumbersome to refine and process in the gas.
And so they claim that, meaning the people who run this country, are going to sell the oil, and it will benefit the people of Venezuela at some point in time. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
I really I'm having a hard time with a lot of it. Why wasn't Congress in on this? Where does this put us when you look at China wanted to go into Taiwan?
Yeah, I mean, China can take Taiwan and be like, you guys did it over to Venezuela.
Yeah, and look what's happening with Russia and Ukraine that he couldn't stop, right?
Yeah.
And then he's schooling on them what they should be doing, and then he just decides to not include Congress on this and anybody else other than his inner circle, apparently. and do what he wants. And you're running. These people are running the country right now. So if you're concerned about, the Constitution and law and international law and what's fair and right, which I would like to think that we are, I think that the rest of the world is probably wondering, who we really are.
Yeah.
And right now, I'm very disappointed in it, more than disappointed in it. I'm incredibly concerned about, us possibly getting into another war.
Yeah.
I mean, how are we going to run Venezuela? How are you going to do that? The oil companies, I'm told, have a major investment in Canada, $500 billion. And you would have to go in and redefine the whole network of operations over there, and who wants to spend that kind of money when you're going to devalue your own investment over here. You're fighting against each other. Okay? I mean, is there a plan?
Oh,
is there a plan?
Oh God, no.
Is there a health care plan?
No.
Do you know the difference?
My premiums are double starting just last week.
Do you know the difference between Obamacare and Affordable Health Care Act?
Yeah.
They're the same.
They're
the same, anybody.
Yeah.
They're the same.
Yeah.
They're the same. Yeah. Go look it up. Please fact check it.
Yeah.
And I hope that more of you people, even though this is painful for us to have to talk about this, but we can't always divert. And now is another important time, and it's the first week in January. I mean, more fireworks. Please go look it up. Please fact check it. And if you don't know about it, try to educate yourself. They can't take all your books away.
They'll try. But, I think all of what you said is 100% correct, and I agree with it. And it's just, if you guys don't see what's happening around you and realize that this is not normal, then I don't know what to say to you. Because, folks, it's not normal what is happening.
It isn't normal. And, we are also in the first week of 5 years since the January 6th insurrection. And the only thing that happened in the last 5 years is those people who attacked the White House got pardoned.
They did. They're walking free right now. People who were sentenced to 20 years for breaking into the United States Capitol and defecating on Nancy Pelosi's desk are now walking free and celebrating that fact at the 5-year anniversary of that tragic event. Stick around, you guys. We'll be right back.
Hello, Ron Cey.
All right, we are back. Thank you so much for joining us. And always, just a reminder that Melissa's Produce is a proud partner of this high-quality broadcast. We'll see about that. Make sure to use Ron's VIP code, Ron Cey, one word, Ron Cey, that's RONCEY, while checking out at melissas.com. They make great fruit baskets, great gift baskets, maybe some nice something to munch on while we're watching some college football.
Yeah. What is it? They have this new commercial out. It's like Uber Eats thing, and the commercial says I'm promoting food to be eaten or something like that. I don't remember it exactly, but it's been out there.
Do you use those delivery services?
I don't. I mean, occasionally I have to use an Uber. My wife uses an Uber, Lyft. Whatever, when we go up and visit the kids, in Northern California and stuff. But, it's convenient. Dodger Stadium has a lot now. Everybody's got these lots. And of course, I have a new leased car. All electric.
All electric. How's that puppy running?
It's nice. I haven't had to charge it yet, but I've got like 300 miles.
And I should note for our audience, not a Tesla. I should note it.
No, it is not. It is. It's a Ford Mach-E.
Yeah, very nice.
And I like it. Vista Ford out here in Woodland Hills, if you're interested.
Yeah, give them a call.
But I moved into that simply because, gas prices here in Southern California, have been around $4.50 for unleaded, it's all done by the Department of Energy. And we have oil refineries in here that apparently it takes a great deal more money to do that here than any place else. And 40 million people buying bulk, and you go next door to Arizona, which does not have 40 million people, and they're looking at $3 and something a gallon.
Yeah,
I don't understand it.
Nor do I, Ron.
Yeah.
Nor do I.
Yeah.
As someone with a 75-mile round trip daily commute.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, here we go.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit of college football.
We're going to talk college first.
Yeah, let's do college.
Right. Well,
And very fun bowl season. I should note too that
a lot of big games coming up here this week. We're on it. By the time that you hear this podcast, you will have a few games being played. And of course, the winners of the first round were Oregon, Alabama, Ole Miss, and Miami.
Not a lot of surprises there,
No,
except Alabama over Oklahoma. I think.
Yeah, I think I had picked Oklahoma, but I'm not surprised that Alabama won. Oregon basically played about 12 minutes before that game was over with. And then they gave up a ton of points that they received a slap on the hand for at the end of the game that made it look like it was a closer game. Miami came up with the biggest game of the year so far, beating Ohio State, the defending national champion, and did it with pretty good style. It seemed as if they were in control of that game most of the way, and ended up winning by 10 points. Mississippi and Georgia was a barn burner.
Yeah, great game.
Felt like Georgia gave it up at the end. But you got to give a lot of kudos to Ole Miss because they did it without their coach who ran off to LSU.
I think they're doing it to spite their coach for leaving them and taking the assistants with him too.
Well, the quarterback, he has asked for another year of eligibility, has a new deal worked out, new nil deal, and their star running back is also coming back. So I think they're on the verge of making something happen here, but I think that they want to come back and make sure that they get this thing done. So kudos to them. They could have gone off to the NFL draft possibly, depending on where their rankings are. Then usually you know about that before the time comes to where you have to register or submit. And so yeah, I'm kind of glad. I having said that, the University of Washington quarterback
I just saw that.
had signed a new deal, apparently a $4 million nil. Decided to take a hike and go into the portal.
Enter the portal.
And is getting a lot of criticism for that. A lot of questions being asked about where did you get this information? And I certainly hope that he's not thinking about going to LSU.
I would hope not, and I think that would be a huge mistake for him too, because as Lane Kiffin has shown over his career, he's pretty much there. He then alienates the rest of the people around him and then moves on. In the old granddaddy, Ron, at the Rose Bowl, which is about a mile away from my house, Indiana, number one seed, put a beat down
They
on
destroyed Alabama. Yeah, they. Here's the thing about Indiana. I think that they have been the most complete team the whole year. I think they're worthy of being number one. They beat teams like you would think they would beat teams that they're supposed to. They won their two big games that they had to win, meaning Oregon on the road early in the season to kind of solidify their position and also tell you that last year's run was not a fluke, that they're the real deal. And they ended up scoring, making the difference in the game in the last 2 minutes of the game, but a huge win on the road in Oregon. Then they finished it off by playing Ohio State, the defending national champion, in the championship game for the Big Ten, and won that game as well. Tough game, great game, but they deserved to win. Yeah. They were the better team.
They're for real.
They are. And now you have a rematch with Oregon and Indiana, and Oregon silenced the critics about
beat down Texas Tech. Yeah,
23-0. The last touchdown was, I don't know, maybe not necessary, but I remember it was 16-0, and there was like 30 seconds left in the game or something, and they ended up scoring the last touchdown. And one of the broadcasters was asked, "Do you think they rubbed it in a little bit there?" And he says, "I played for Steve Spurrier," and he said Steve Spurrier would have scored the he would have scored the touchdown. And it's up to you to defend.
Yeah.
And I think in this case, and there wasn't anything, after the game, the handshake in the middle of the field between the coaches, all respectful.
Yeah, no bad blood.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's different if you're like if it's 70-0.
Oh yeah,
and you
yeah,
go
yeah,
77-0, which Alabama used to do years ago. That's one thing.
Oh yeah.
But you're 16-23, I think is okay.
Yeah, and then I like Miami and Mississippi, but I like Miami in this game.
Okay.
And I like Miami because of what they did. They handled Ohio State, and I thought Ohio State had a much more difficult offense to control with all their wide receivers and their running back and the quarterback who was a Heisman Trophy candidate, and then Ohio State's defense as well. Interesting. A lot of pressure at Ohio State, probably more pressure there than any place else in the country.
Yeah.
Because they're expected to win, they're expected to get there, and if they don't, and they don't beat Michigan, then it's not a good year, and that's a lot. That's a lot of pressure.
I think for people who maybe don't follow college sports that extensively, Ohio State is and has been the largest school by student population for about 50 years. And so you have a lot of kids on campus, and you got a lot of alumni, and they are very, very hard on their football team. And so, like you said, a lot of pressure on those guys.
Well, have you ever been to Columbus, Ohio?
I have not, no.
I went there, I would have to say probably 15 years ago, maybe even longer. I went there for a baseball clinic. Ferguson Jenkins, George Foster, and I were involved in this clinic that we did, and we stayed in a hotel that was right across the street from the Horseshoe. And one of the nights that we had, we went to this restaurant that was a big old family-style restaurant, painted red. It had nothing but Ohio State memorabilia, all the trophies, national championship trophies, Heisman Trophy Award winners, All-Americans, jerseys, you name it, red and white checkerboard tablecloths, to the hilt. And the arrogance that went with it, unbelievable. There is nothing else that exists in Columbus, Ohio, other than Ohio State football.
Yeah.
But it was, and of course, for those, they probably understand that their reputation in the college football world is that they are arrogant. And, they have a right to be. They sit at the top of the crest, and usually they're there each and every year. So, they know who you are.
They do, indeed. So you like Miami over Ole Miss?
I do. I think it's, Miami, Mississippi surprised me a little bit. And I'd seen them play a couple times. And I saw them play my school, Washington State, in Mississippi, Oxford, early in the season, maybe halfway through the season. And Washington State gave them a game. And Washington State was not that good, even though I'm very happy that they won their bowl game. Yeah. They were bowl eligible, and they won. Thrilled about that. Thrilled about the fact that Washington won their bowl game convincingly. Probably should have been a 10-win team this year. 9 is good enough, but they had one bad loss in there. But they did surprise me. It was such a crazy game at the end too. It was back and forth, and they pulled it out.
Okay, we're right up against the break right now. So when we come back, we're gonna get Ron's pick for the Peach Bowl, which is Indiana versus Oregon. Then his pick for the national championship, and then we're gonna get a little NFL talk going too. Stick
Yeah.
around, guys. We'll see about that with the legend, the champion, the MVP, Mr. Ron Cey. I'm Mike Gary. Stay with us. All right, we are back. We'll see about that with Ron Cey, the legend. I am Mike Gary, and just to wrap up our college football talk here, Ron has our Final Four. Ron has Miami over Ole Miss. Next, Indiana versus Oregon. You sensing an upset here?
Well, once again, I want Oregon. That's my favorite to this. I think they do have well, I don't think it's a revenge game, but I think they're going to be highly motivated, especially after they played so well against Texas Tech. I still think Indiana will be the betting favorite. I think they've had that kind of a year. I will not be surprised if Indiana wins the game, but I want Oregon. And as far as this game here, I think the winner of this game will be your national champion.
Okay, so your heart is saying Oregon, but your head is saying Indiana. So we'll go ahead Miami versus Indiana. So you got Indiana winning the whole thing.
I think that the winner of this game, the winner, either Oregon. I think they will be a little bit too much. I think both offenses. Although I did hear that one of the running backs for Oregon, one of the good ones, had a broken clavicle here. So I don't know if that's confirmed or not. But either way, I like the winner of the Oregon-Indiana game.
Okay, now we brought in from the Brain Trust, our CRN's chief NFL correspondent here, Mr. Corey Marino. How are you, Corey?
Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Doing well.
So hold on a second. Our Denver Broncos, 14-3. We're going to start with the AFC, and so we have the AFC champions, AFC West champions, first seed, first round bye, Denver Broncos, the New England Patriots, second seed, interesting, Jacksonville Jaguars, Pittsburgh Steelers, Houston Texans, Buffalo Bills, and the Chargers. Let's go through some of these wild card matchups, and I'll get you guys' picks.
Yeah.
We have the number 2 seed, the Patriots, versus the number 7 seed, the Chargers. Ron.
Well, look, I'd like to see the Chargers win here. I'd like to see Justin Herbert have a big game. I don't know if the running game is going to be good enough to penetrate the Patriots. The Patriots have had a terrific season, and I really like their quarterback. And I'm going to take the Patriots in this one.
Okay, Corey?
Yeah, I like it's going to be a good matchup. The Patriots haven't really been tested this year. They had the least, the worst, or the easiest schedule. They only beat one team above 500, and then they also lost to the Raiders, the worst team in the league, in the first game.
Yeah,
so it's been a lot of the same things that could be said about the Broncos. They beat the Chiefs and the Eagles, Super Bowl contenders. Players in the game last year. But it's just, this is the first game they're going to have against a strongly coached team that can put up points. And unfortunately for the Chargers, their offensive line is hurt, just been decimated the whole year. I think the Chargers are going to come in and win, but I think it's going to be a close game.
All right, so Corey's got the Chargers. I just solely based off the Chargers having to go play in the cold, in the elements at New England. I'm going to pick the Patriots. I'm writing this down so we can keep track of this. All right, the next wild card game, the number 3 seed Jaguars and the 6 seed and then Josh Allen, the Bills.
Yeah, this is an interesting game, too. The Bills haven't had quite the season that they had hoped for, although they're still formidable. And Jacksonville had a good start, I think a so-so middle, and then they finished strong again. They're really playing well. 13-4 speaks for itself. I really am leaning towards Jacksonville, but I think possibly the experience of the Bills and Josh Allen, I think I'm going to take the Bills on this one.
Ron's got the Bills. Who you got, Corey?
Yeah, I like it. It's the Bills are actually favored as a away opponent, which is interesting. The Jaguars are red hot. I think they've won like 8 games in a row. Their offense is humming. Their defense is actually scary, underrated. So then the Bills' defense hasn't traveled well. They've played good at home, but when they've gone away, they haven't played well. I think the Bills are actually going to fall and the Jaguars are going to win.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so Corey's got the Jaguars, Ron's got the Bills, I got the Bills too, just based off the Bills' past experience. All right, wild card matchup versus the AFC, folks. The Steelers, the 4th seed at a 10-7 record, going to take the 5 seed, the Texans, who were 12-5.
Even though Pittsburgh has a home game here, and Aaron Rodgers, with
Not a friend of the show.
not a friend of the show, but you have to give him due credit. You know, he played really well down the stretch. It was a crazy game because there were blown coverages from Baltimore. One guy slipped and fell on the last one, left a wide receiver all alone and open in the end zone. We had Lamar Jackson make a couple of terrific plays, and on 4th down too. It came down to the kickers. Anybody but the Steelers here. I really like Texas. I like their defense in particular. I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to have a tough day against that defense. I'm picking the Texans.
All right, Ron's got the Texans. Corey?
Yeah, 100% agree. I believe it's going to be like the Cleveland Brown game where they were so scared of Myles Garrett getting the record on him. But on this time, they have Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson, both ends coming. I don't think Rodgers is going to be able to move much. And even though the Pittsburgh is going to be home, I think the Texans, their defense is going to be too much for them.
I think that my take personally is the Steelers have a lot of momentum right now going in. I didn't think they would get to the playoffs. Now they're here, and they're, of course, playing at home, so I got the Steelers. All right, gentlemen, let's move over to the NFC. The Seattle Seahawks, Ron's hometown Seattle Seahawks, secure the 1st seed in a first-round bye.
Yes.
The Chicago Bears, the 2nd seed, Eagles 3, Panthers. For the Rams, everybody thought they would be kind of really dominant this entire year. 5th seed, 6th seed, Ron's 2nd team, the 49ers, and the Packers, number 7. The first wild card game, number 2 Bears versus number 7 Packers at Chicago.
Yeah, I really don't like this matchup. This is I wish they were playing different teams. This is the 3rd time that these guys will be meeting. That there is a split there. The Bears at home, I think, is an advantage. The Bears did win the last game. Both of them been 1-score games. The Bears have been kind of I think. Overshadowed this year. They're the number 2 seed. That speaks a lot. I think Caleb Williams is going to have a good game. I think their defense is playing well. I like the Bears at home.
Right.
Yeah, the Bears are doing well. There's a funny stat that neither team has won since they've beat each other. So in Week 14, the Packers won and have lost 4 straight games, and in Week 16, the Bears won and have lost 2 straight games. So I like the rubber match, but I think the Bears are going to handle it at home. I think the Packers are a little too hurt, and I think Ben Johnson's got this team on some hopium right now, just riding high.
Woo.
All right, I like the Bears as well. First of all, because they're at home, and I never trust a team that plays for a tie, which the Packers did this year. So next game, the Eagles, the number 3 seed, versus the number 6 seed, the 49ers, who's sneaky good, 12-5, to finish the season strong at Philadelphia. Who do you like?
This is going to be a tough call for my team here, the 49ers. They took a beat down pretty good. The Seahawks, my co-teams, played last week for the right to be the number 1 seed, and Seattle did plenty defensively. And I think they're the number 1 ranked defensive team in the league. They did enough offensively to create the win. The struggles for the 49ers continue. They were without 5 players last week. Ayuk, who's been out the entire year. Pearsall, their number 1 receiver. Williams, their all-pro left tackle. And, of course, Bosa and Warner on defense. Those guys are really good. I don't know if they can go into Philadelphia. They could not run the ball against the Seahawks. The Eagles have a great defense too. They are the defending champions, as much as I'd love to see the 49ers win, I think the Eagles are going to probably prevail.
Okay, Ron is going with the Eagles. Mr. Marino.
Yeah, he hit all the points. I think it's going to be a mirror game of the Seahawk 49er team because the Seahawks have a great defense. The Eagles have a great defense, and at times the Seahawks can have an explosive offense, and at times the Eagles can have explosive offense. So I think they just saw the game plan. And Shanahan's smart, so he's going to change some things. But I don't think they can. I don't think they. And then they're at Philadelphia, right?
They are at
Yeah. So I don't think they can overcome that defense and being away.
All right, so Corey and Ron both have the Eagles, and I will take the Eagles as well because it's a very tough stadium to play at. And also, I believe that East Coast.
I just went against my heart.
I know. I'm sorry to hear that.
I just did.
Maybe it's reverse jinx, If they do
I want the 49ers to win, so I want you to know that.
All right, he's qualified it. Once again, heart says wants the 49ers, but the head says Eagles. All right, last of the wild card NFC matchups, the Panthers, an 8-9 team, a sub 500 team getting into the playoffs, versus our Los Angeles Rams, 12-5 at Carolina. I have no idea how an 8-9 team and a 4 seed can then host a team that went 12-5.
That's that. Here's the scenario behind that. Corey, you tell me when I'm wrong here. I think 3 teams were tied for first.
Something like that.
Yeah. Oh, for the NFC South.
For that, yeah.
Yeah.
So the divisional winner gets a higher seed than a wild card team.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. You have to win to get a higher seed, and in this case, even the Atlanta Falcons went on a winning streak, and they ended up sharing the title too. The head coach got fired after winning 4 games in a row and tying for the divisional title. Raheem Morris, a former Ram coach. The Rams better have a short memory because they went back to Carolina here about 3 weeks ago and lost a tough game. And I think the fact that the Panthers won is going to give them impetus. But the fact that the Rams were finally able to turn things around and finally beat Arizona and get kind of back in sync a little bit, I think they're going to have a much better focus. Plus, they're getting Adams back, so that should help take the pressure off of Nakua. So I'm going to go with the Rams here.
All right, Ron's going to go with the Rams. Corey.
Yeah, the stars are aligning for the Panthers. They get to get them at home. It's going to be cold. It might be rainy. They already beat them. But the Rams, I just think they're too good of a team, too well coached by Sean McVay, and I think Adams coming back is going to help a lot. So I think the Rams are going to take it.
I have the Rams too. There's no way a 12-5 team is losing to an 8-9 team, no matter what the conditions are. Okay, gentlemen, I'm going to file these in my file, and then we're going to watch the games this weekend, and then we'll discuss the divisional rounds next week. And we'll be right back right after the break, you guys. Once again, thank you so much for spending some time with us. Make sure to check out Ron's fantastic website. It's theronceyshow.com, where you can find out more information and check out his fantastic book, Penguin Power. We'll be right back.
Hey, Ron. How you doing?
All right, we are back. We'll see about that, wrapping things up for our first episode in 2026. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. And as always, make sure to check out Ron's fantastic website, theronceyshow.com. You can find our link to our complete archives, podcast archives, guest lists, great information, also access to Ron's fantastic book, Penguin Power. It's a fantastic read. Make sure to put that in your reading list for 2026. Also, Ron's on Instagram as well, The Real Ron Cey, on Facebook as well, Ron Cey, and available for special requests on Cameo. Ron, this actually kind of surprised me. I thought this happened a lot longer ago, but this week, I guess we could call this week in Dodger history.
Yep.
This is the 5-year anniversary of this week of the passing of the Hall of Fame manager, and some would say, the kind of the face of the Dodgers for many people's lifetimes, Tommy Lasorda.
Yeah. It goes right along with the Dodger history and tradition and the family atmosphere that was created by the O'Malley family all the way back to Brooklyn and was brought forth in 1958 to the West Coast, and probably that's one of the best moves Major League Baseball ever had in making one of those kinds of things happen. Great insight from Walter O'Malley, and Tommy was, Hall of Fame manager, just like Walter Alston was. Walter managed for 24 years. Tommy was right behind him. We were very fortunate. I was very fortunate to play for two of them in the same organization, and both of them completely different kinds of personalities. Walt was pretty quiet and shy and reserved, but made his point, and Tommy wore everything on his sleeve and was openly gregarious. One of the great things about him is that he had a great understanding for talent, and he took care of the nucleus of our group for many, many years, and he deserved a great deal of credit for all of that, for sure.
Yeah, he was truly one of a kind, and I think just we've been blessed. Me growing up here, born and bred in Los Angeles, to not only have him, but Vin Scully and Chick Hearn and all these greats.
Really lucky.
Yeah,
we're a city of champions for sure. Everybody's had their moment, and well-deserved, and the fan support has been fantastic. And Corey had to jump out and is not with us, but I just wanted to let him know that I wouldn't mind my Seahawks, or 49ers for that matter, but Seahawks, I think, have the best shot at playing his Denver Broncos, and I wouldn't mind that at all.
Ooh, we'll discuss that moving forward. All right, you guys, have a great week.